Welcome to You Are Not Alone. I am Spiritual Medium Erika Gabriel. This show is intended to bring expansion, understanding, and growth on our spiritual paths and journeys. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. Please remember, I am not a licensed therapist or medical doctor. Seek immediate professional help if you need mental health or physical health support. Hello, welcome to You Are Not Alone. I'm so happy to be with you today. This is a beautiful day, and it's a great day to talk about spirit and to think about spirit and to think about the other side. You know, it's so interesting moving forward in this work that I'm doing and just realizing how much we're all on this journey and that our lives is really one stop on our soul's journey. So sometimes when I'm reading, I will see the person's arc of their soul, and I have to figure out which life we're in right now. I'm like, oh, right, here you are on this timeline. Here you are. Okay, we're in this life. Let's get into this, right? So we have this beautiful, long journey of our soul. And then people ask, okay, so I'm on a soul's journey. Why am I here? Why did I come here? And it's like, well, that's for you to figure out. That's your journey. That's your mystery, right? Why did you come here? Why did your soul choose to come here at this time in here we are in 2023, right? Why did your soul go, you know what? I'm coming there in that time, in that moment, in that experience. Why? What is it? What is it about this time? You didn't choose to come, in 1827, right? You're not in the future. You came here in this moment, in this time. Why? And that is so much of why we're here, to find out why we came here and what we're learning. So the idea is really that we are here to learn and experience this incarnation and learn things as we continue to grow and evolve our soul, which contributes to the collective consciousness. So, something we talk about, and I've talked about a lot on this show over the years, is that time is really an illusion. There's no beginning, middle, or end. It's a circle. It is a circle. So if time is an illusion, we are just experiencing this moment. There's many other things happening on many other timelines. So we're really figuring out what our soul is doing, what we're learning, why we came. I see people with many, many reasons why they came. I really do. I see people with a lot of different parts of their journey. They were like, I'm going to go in and take all advanced courses in this life. And sometimes people go, oh my gosh, this is all advanced courses. I got to pull back. This is way too much, right? And I've also seen people on their journey, they come in with one main thing. I had an interesting conversation actually with someone the other day. I was at a pool party, an adult pool party. Isn't that fun? It was like food and everyone was just hanging in the pool, chit-chatting away. It was great. And I was talking to someone who I don't know that well, really, really nice guy. My husband and I were talking to him actually. And we were talking about aliens and about how the government is like slowly releasing things about unidentified flying objects or whatever, right? And he was like, yeah, I don't like to think about that. What do you think, Erika? I'm like, well, listen, there's a couple different things going on. And some of it could be, if time's an illusion and everything's happening all at once, what we're seeing, the quote aliens, could be us in the future. I'll say it again. Could be humans with different technology from a different time, checking on the past. There's so many possibilities. And he's interesting. He's a doctor and a very successful doctor, amazing, helps so many people, saves hundreds of lives. And he was like, yeah, I don't like to think about stuff like that because I just want to focus on what I'm here to do. And I was like, oh, like it was like his soul was just like, there's a knowingness to this person. He was like, I just am here to be a physician and I want to focus on that. I've got my wife, I have my kids, and I'm here to be a physician. And I don't want to, sever from that. I don't want to get off track. And when my mind starts going, I just start to sway and waver, and I just need to focus. I'm here for this reason. I'm here to help. And I was like, wow, that was profound. He was basically like, I know why my soul's here. I'm just going to focus on that. And that's what I'm doing. And I don't know that he knows how profound that was, and how much that's like in line with my belief system and what my guides have told me. I was like, well, hot damn, that's awesome, So, we're here for all different reasons and all different things happen. Some people come here and they get sickness of the mind, right? Deeply sick for various reasons, and they do horrible things. They're sick in the mind. Just because you have mapped out some lessons to learn while you're here, listen, you could miss those lessons. You could absolutely miss the lessons. You could also decide, oh my God, I feel this lesson, but I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? All different things happen. It's not one size fits all. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's path is different. For an example, I have a friend who has the most amazing life of anyone I've ever met. Amazing life, right? Unbelievably successful, beloved by many, and it's like they're born on this sunshiniest day, and some people could look at that and be like, wow, I'm so jealous, It's like, don't be jealous. Listen, they could have been, I don't know, shoveling shit in a past life for 50 years. You don't know. Everyone is here for a different reason. Everyone has a different path. Everyone is learning different things. Think of your soul's journey like an arc, right? There's so many stops on your soul's journey. This is one experience. So it's important not to judge others, right? So the reason why I bring this all up, and I really hope that all makes sense. I mean, listen, so much when you talk about earth and life and death and experience and incarnations and coming here and life's purpose and life's mission, the mind just boggles. The mind can spin around, we can think so many different things. But if she says that, what about this? And if you say that, what about this? And how does that make sense if you also say this, right? The mind kind of goes and goes. And that's what's so awesome about being alive, feeling, learning, growing, challenging ourselves, challenging others. It's beautiful. So, let's see, we've been chatting for 8 minutes, right? 8 minutes talking about like the meaning of life, right? Of course, there's so much more. So much more. You could spend 100 years, your entire lifetime talking about the mysteries of life, right? It's just how it is. But for the purposes of this podcast right now, the reason why I kind of gave that little backstory there is because, so I did an interview on Gaia TV. I know you guys know about that. If you click the link in my bio, you can listen to it. You can just get a free trial on Gaia and go on and listen to the interview I did with George Norrie on his show Beyond Belief. I implore you to listen and leave a comment. It's so funny. Like I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but some haters went on there and gave me bad ratings, and that's totally fine. I don't mind at all. And okay, so anyway, but there was also like amazing people saying they were just so excited by what I was saying. So it's, this is why I'm doing this episode, is because, whenever you say anything that challenges people or their beliefs, they get really, really angry. And that's just par for course. It doesn't bother me personally, believe it or not. Believe it or not, it doesn't bother me personally. But anyway, so I went on this interview, had so much fun, and they posted some of the interview on their Instagram. And the interview, I told you guys, you guys already know this because we talked about it when in the episode I did on suicide and the afterlife, but they posted something about that. And that was like extremely controversial, excuse me. And then someone, a lovely guy who posts Gaia clips, he went on and took another segment from that interview about heaven and hell. And he posted it on his Instagram. And, I love that I can look at my phone while I'm recording. Let me make sure my sound's off. So anyway, his handle is at I am Gold Soul. IAMGOLDSOUL. I am Gold Soul. And he posted this clip, and if you want, you can go check it out. But and let's see, there's almost 90,000 views on there and a couple hundred comments. And in the clip, I talk about how there is no heaven and hell. We all go to the same place. And let's see, there's 3,200 likes and 250 comments. And my husband is like, don't read those comments. And, it's funny, like, if I were an actor and I did a movie or a play and someone was like, that was the shittiest performance I've ever heard, she sucks as an actor, I'd be like, oh my God, But with things like this, where I am voicing, channeled moments with spirit and what they've revealed to me, and it upsets people, it doesn't bother me at all. Maybe it should. I don't know. What do you guys think? I will say this. Someone on the Gaia interview wrote, he wrote, "Get a job, you dirty hippie." I was dying, and I said to my husband, I'm like, babe, is my hippie showing in that interview? I was dying. Okay. So anyway, so I posted about, so the clip is about heaven and hell. And in it, I say there is no heaven and hell. We go to the same place, but our experiences there are extraordinarily different. But there is no hell, like where you're going down, getting poked with the hot sticks by a demon with horns. That it doesn't work like that. So much of these ideals that we have were created out to keep people in line and to also create fear so that people did what you told them to do. If you don't do this, you're going to hell and you'll be poked with hot sticks for the rest of your fucking eternity, right? And if you're good and you do these things, you're going to go to heaven. And I mean, I get it, right? That makes sense. And our minds grab onto that. Our minds grab onto this strictness, this ideal, because it helps us explain. It's like, what the hell is this? We're on some rotating rock flying through space. This is overwhelming. Like, what am I doing here? Who am I? What is this all about? What happens? We all die. We're born, we die. Terrible things happen. Wonderful things happen. This is wild. And so someone's like, here, let me tell you. Here's the truth, quote unquote. Be afraid, be very afraid, and follow these rules. And that feels good. It feels good. I totally get it. It does feel good to have those rules and regulations. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't, as society, have rules of what is okay and what is not okay, of course. And you guys know that. You know my heart, of course. But the idea that we are responsible for our paths and our destiny and how we judge our life and our decisions, that we do that, and that there's not some man with a long gray beard judging us is very scary for people to hear. Because so much of the rules and regulations in certain spiritual thought beliefs takes our responsibility out of things in some ways. It's like, here's what's right, here's what's wrong. If you're bad, this person will torture you. If you're good, you'll be rewarded. And that feels good. It totally feels good. But the point is that we are more spectacular, more important, more a part of that big gray man with a gray beard than we know. Our energy is part of the collective. Our energy is part of God. We're all connected. So when you go to spirit, you have a period where you review your incarnation. Did you obtain the lessons? What did you do? Did you create pain? Did you create joy? Did you give? Did you create love? You review your life and what spirit has shown to me. So there is a heaven, right? If you want to call it heaven, can we just call it the afterlife? It's not so black and white. So we all go to the afterlife, and there we examine our life, our incarnation. Does it mean that someone that was taking care of people and kind and spreading love is, sharing a bed with a serial killer? Of course not. And I'm just saying this because I've read some of these comments on that post that I am Gold Soul on his handle. Some of these comments on that video, again, this is not out of defense. This is out of deeper explanation and also just reflection. But the comments, it's like, oh my gosh, and it's okay. Like, listen, everyone should feel how they want to feel and live their life how they want to live their life. But it's like, they're like, there is a heaven. This woman is the devil. There is a heaven. I know it. I know there is. And it's like, you're right. There is, babe. And guess who creates it? You. Take responsibility for yourself. You are directly connected to God and to spirit. And when you go to spirit, you review. Now, what has been shown to me is that you get to experience the joy that you have created and the love that you've created, but you also experience the pain and the suffering that you created. You review it. I do see that your guides are with you and that your loved ones are with you. So if you are someone who created terror, chaos, all the horrible things, you will experience that, like torture. Is someone poking you with hot sticks? No, it's reflected back to you. There is some of these things that our minds are not fully set up to process. There are certain things about spirit that our minds are not set up to process. There are parts of our consciousness that if we remembered all of it, we would go like, well, I'm heading back to spirit, y'all. Thanks for this fun classroom, right? We are supposed to be here. You chose to come here. Your soul chose to come here. So some of this is it's challenging to process. Even when I have the words and my guides tell me it over and over again, sometimes my brain can't get around there, but they're just concepts. And that's the thing sometimes with spirituality. It's like, you can feel it, right? When someone says something, like when I hear Michael Beckwith talk and he says things like, I don't always understand every single thing he says, but I feel it in my soul. I feel the alignment in my spirit to the words. I know their truth, right? I know that it is aligning with my spirit. So the idea is that, some of these things we think about, some of these concepts have been introduced to me, 15, 20 years ago, and I'm still processing them. It's okay that we don't fully understand. It's okay that we don't fully know. We don't fully know. But the idea that there's some black and white, you're evil or you're a saint, you will go to hell or you go to heaven. And some people think the only way to heaven is through blank, right? Is through Jesus or Moses or Allah or whatever, which, by the way, that's not bad. That is what aligns with their soul and their truth. And that's beautiful, truly. And also, I'm all ... And also, there's all kinds of ways of thinking about things, but it was very interesting reading the comments and just hearing how utterly disgusted and upset people were by the idea that, there was no heaven and hell. That it was just horrible and it was rubbish and psychotic, right? And a lot of that is fear. Like I think about, sometimes the unknown feels so scary. So to put a name and a face to it. So this is an example I really like, actually. So when you think about, say, Christmas, right? Christmas, there's a lot going on. There's, a beautiful story of Jesus, right? I love that. I love the Christmas story of Jesus and the three kings. And I love the story. It's a beautiful story. And Jesus, Mary and Joseph, there was no, quote, room in the inn. That's debatable, right? Were they kicked out for being Jews? Okay, well, that's a whole nother topic. But it's a beautiful story. And there's a lot there. And for children, sometimes it can be hard to understand or feel the magic of Christmas and this beautiful story. So we have created Santa Claus, right? And I know he was a saint, and yes, but we've also created this jolly guy that flies around, right? With reindeer, magical reindeer, and brings presents. How awesome is that? And we all tell our kids this. My kids are 9 and 10. And if you're listening to this and know my kids, do not tell them that Santa Claus isn't real. They believe. And we all as a collective have decided, let's tell our children this wild tale of this jolly, giggling, ho, ho, ho man who flies and goes down people's chimneys and eats cookies and drinks milk and brings presents. That's wild. That's some wild shit, guys, So, but it's really, really helpful for kids because now we have created this magical concept so that they can feel the magic and the joy of the holiday. It doesn't mean they're also not going to learn about the Jesus story, right? But it means that there's another component for them that they can feel the joy and excitement of the holiday in a different way. We put a face to it for them. Does that make sense? Are you all with me? Okay, that's another story I'll tell you in 1 second. But so we do that, and we've done that to make ourselves as adults feel good too. There's a devil with horns that pokes you and you're in hellfire. And then there's a person who helps you get into heaven, and it's beautiful, and we all get mansions. And it's okay. We're putting a face to it. We're defining it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's different than that in the sense that it's all one and it's all connected. It does not mean that your experience as a serial killer is the same as when Mother Teresa went to, spirit. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. But your experience is reflected back to you by your experience on the planet in this incarnation. And then you can say, well, if you chose this life, did you know you were going to be a serial killer? Listen, people really get infected in the mind, sickness of mind. When they get here, there's all kinds of things that happen. It is not so black and white. So it's interesting. But if you guys are curious, you can, of course, watch the clip and read the comments. And my husband, again, he's like, why are you reading those comments? And I'm like, actually, it's really interesting because it has nothing to do with me. It wasn't anything personal, clearly, and even the people that were like, this crazy lady is a liar. I was like, okay. So it really doesn't have anything to do with me. It has to do with their own perception. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has to believe and feel what they want. That's why we're here, to experience life as us. So if you're interested in reading it and watching the clip, you can go to that handle, I am Soul Gold. I don't know the person. So it's just kind of interesting to think about, interesting to talk about idea of heaven and hell. People ask me it all the time. They're fascinated by it. And, listen, we're responsible for ourselves, our soul's journey. I think sometimes we get to Earth and we feel like we're completely and utterly and totally powerless. And we're not. We're more powerful than we know. Time is an illusion. Our energy, what we put in the world, what we put out in the earth, what we send out, what we think about, what we dream about, it affects us. It affects our life. It affects our life so deeply. What we focus on grows. What we focus on grows. Our perception, our perspective is everything. Remember, you're here to learn. You're not being tortured. You're here to grow. If you're taking a course that you really, really, really don't like, you can always drop the course and try a different course. And we can, think of all the ways that that's completely impossible and we're totally stuck. But instead of finding ways to tell yourself you're stuck, you're basically railing against the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. Instead of railing against the problem, expand your mind for the solutions. Open your mind for the solutions. Call in God, call in spirit, call in your higher self, your future self, your past self, all of yourselves. Call them in. Ask for support and guidance and assistance in stepping out of your own way. This is quite a ride, quite a journey. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This is like the 4th season of You Are Not Alone. I've done a ton of solo episodes. They've been awesome and fun. I really hope you listened to last week, which was Bonnie Peace. She's so amazing. I hope you like that episode. If you're listening to this, follow me on Instagram at Spiritual Medium Erika. Oh, wait, I wanted to tell you really, really quickly. I was reading for someone the other day and she was like, oh my God, your podcast, I bust out laughing. You make me laugh so much. I just die laughing. And I'm like, really? Oh, that's cool. And she's like, yeah, you sing, you curse. I'm like, oh my gosh, kind of embarrassing, but I'm glad that there's humor here. That's good. Anyway, follow me at Spiritual Medium Erika. If you want to book a reading with me, you guys, you can fill out the form at erikagabriel.com. It's on erikagabriel.com, or just email info@erikagabriel.com and let Jenna know, hey, I want a reading with Erika. She'll put you on the wait list, or she'll send you a date. Right now I have some fall dates, late fall dates. Actually, do I anymore? I don't know. By the time you're listening to this, I don't know. So please, you can send it to her. And I have some courses. I have a course called The Way. And it's if you're stuck, if you're having trouble finding your purpose, take that course. It will really, really help. Really, really, really help. If you like this podcast, go on Apple Podcasts, like it, and leave me a comment so that I can keep going. And I can keep doing more. Love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging with me. Thank you for sticking with me through all these seasons. You can always DM me on Instagram if you have questions about something I said. Know that there's always way more on these topics. So much more. This is a taste. This is a sprinkle. This is a little smattering. I'm thinking of you all. God bless you. I love you. Share this episode. I'm thinking of you, and I'll see you next week.